Good evening. This is Making the Case. I'm Yodit Tewolde. We begin tonight in the town of Colorado Springs, Colorado, where the city has agreed to pay nearly $3 million to the family of a black man fatally shot in the back by police. Colorado Springs police shot and killed 19-year-old Devon Bailey during an attempted arrest back in 2019. The incident began when Devon and his cousin were stopped by two officers who were investigating a report of an armed robbery in the area. Bodycam footage showed one of the officers attempting to search Devon. That's when he dropped his arms, turned, and ran away. Officers then opened fire, hitting him 3 times in the back. Here's a portion of that video, but a word of warning: it may be too graphic to watch.
What's your name? Devon. What do you go by?
I just go by.
Do you go by Spaz?
No, sir.
Okay. Put your hands up for me a sec. Put your hands up. What? So we got a report of 2 people, similar descriptions, possibly having a gun, all right? So don't reach for your waist. We're going to just check and make sure that you don't have a weapon, all right? Hands up! Hands up! Hands up!
With me now, Devon's mother, Delisha Searcy, and the family's attorney, Darold Killmer. Welcome to you both. Thank you so much for your time tonight. Delisha, let me start with you. That was the first time I had ever seen that body cam footage when it just aired just a few minutes ago. And it's incredibly hard for me to witness these types of videos. And no matter how many times we've seen similar videos, it never gets easier. Some have gotten numb to it at this point, but not for me. And it's especially hard when I'm talking with grieving families. Can you describe what it's like for you as a mother?
Unimaginable pain that I've never. It's every day is waking up and just not even still believing that he's gone. Like, sometimes I wake up and I'm just like, I would give anything in the world just to have an opportunity to talk to him again. Anything. And I still can't. I mean, even in my home, I had to take down all of our family photos, everything, because it just hurts too much to even look at the pictures. And knowing that the person he was, it's like almost living a nightmare every day.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard. It's hard to even look at pictures of him smiling because it's just the way everything happened. I still don't understand. I don't understand what prompted the shots to the back. I don't understand why your first notion would be to shoot someone. I don't understand. Any other human being would just automatically think I should shoot to kill. I just don't understand.
Yeah, we've seen these videos, these incidents play out in the same way where, you know, Devon was a kid. He did something that was foolish, but he was a kid and he ran away and posed absolutely no threat to these officers and yet was killed in the back. Darold, we chose not to air the rest of the video because it gets too graphic, but it's important that viewers have the full context of what happened to Devon after he was shot. Can you walk us through the parts that we didn't see?
Sure, Yodi, I can. Thank you for having us on tonight. As you can tell, the emotions here are still very raw, as they will be for years, I'm sure, probably the rest of the family's life. I've done dozens of these cases, but this one was special. My own children were about Devon's age when Devon was killed, 19 years old. It truly is unimaginable. And if you would have run the video further, and we appreciate for the trauma that it might have inflicted you not doing it, but if you would have run it, you would have seen Devon running for his life. He had no intention of confronting these officers. Their whole defense here was they were in fear for their own life. They thought that Devon was going to hurt them or shoot them or kill them. But the video tells the entirely different story, and it's why the city found out, decided they had to settle. He's running to get away, and that's the only thing he wants to do. And of course, the autopsy and all of the evidence indicates that he was shot in the back 3 times, which is what killed him. Delisha's concern about why would they do such a thing is something we thought a lot about in this case. And there's no doubt in my mind that racial bias entered into this and made a significant difference in the officers' interactions with Devon and Lawrence that day. As you can see on the video that you did show, they didn't do anything dangerous or threatening, but this was 2 young black men, and the concept of implicit racial bias undoubtedly entered into the calculation on this interaction. These 2 white police officers undoubtedly made assumptions of criminality and dangerousness of Devon and Lawrence, and that's what got them to the trigger so fast. Devon had taken no more than 3 steps running away before they started shooting. It's really indefensible.
I mean, Darold, explain to me, because again, we've heard this before where officers claim to have a fear for their life when a suspect is running away from them. How in the world were they afraid for their life when there's so much distance between Devon and the officers, even if he were to turn around and try and shoot them? I mean, there was, again, such a distance between the two. How do they justify feeling threatened for their life?
And an increasing distance very fast. I mean, he was running away very fast. So it's almost like a script. The officers know that the only thing they can do to justify using deadly force on a fleeing suspect is to say that they were in imminent fear of death or serious bodily injury. So whether the evidence supports it or not, this is what they're going to say. Early on, they had said they thought they heard that Devon or Lawrence had taken a shot at them. That, of course, was false. There was no shooting involved by Devon or Lawrence. But they know they have to start with this conclusion: I was in imminent fear of death or serious bodily injury, and work backwards. The problem is there was video and there were witnesses. There were a whole bunch of neighbors that were witness to this, because it was a Saturday afternoon. There were barbecues going on. There was a birthday party in the neighborhood. And of course, the neighbors were horrified to see this. And to a person, they said Devon had done nothing threatening. He didn't go for a gun or anything like that. So, the officers said, we feared for our life, but it made no sense, of course. A jury never would have bought it, which I assume is what inspired the city to settle the case.
And it's important to note that both Devon and his cousin were later found to have been innocent of whatever it is that they were investigating at the time. Darold, I might have missed this point, but what was the initial reason for stopping them? Was it because they thought they fit a description?
Yes, as a matter of fact, there was this guy who called the cops and alleged falsely, as it turns out, and you pointed out that Lawrence had went to trial on this allegation and was acquitted. But this guy called and said that Lawrence and Devon tried to hold them up, tried to rob them of their money, and described Devon and Lawrence. I mean, this guy knew Devon and Lawrence, and he wanted them to get in trouble. This is sometimes called swatting, where you call the cops on somebody and you try to get them in trouble, even though they hadn't done anything. That's what happened here. So the cops, in this regard, didn't do anything wrong in pulling up to them and saying, "Hey guys, what's going on? We got a report." That's all true. And Devon, rather than being frisked and arrested, ran. Now that's a decision of a 19-year-old boy, actually, and he was it was a fake decision, but it was a mistake, the mistake of his life, and he ran and he got shot. And so the police being on the scene isn't sinister or nefarious. They were responding to a call, but going to the trigger as quickly as they did and shooting him in the flat in the back, that was murder.
Delisha, did you ever have the conversation, the one that all black parents hate to have with their children, on how to interact with law enforcement when, not if, they encounter them?
Yes, we've talked about it. Unfortunately, that's the conversation I have. I have 3 boys. If you ever come into law enforcement, be respectful as possible. don't be aggressive. Say, yes, sir, no, sir, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Just try to be as respectful as possible. And when I saw the beginning of that video and I watched him terrified and almost shaking, I was just looking like, he's afraid. He's afraid. And it's when you're afraid, that fight or flight comes in, and you're like, well, the only thing I knew to do with the climate of the country that we live in now is just to get away. Let me get away as fast as I can, so hopefully I can save my life. And that wasn't what the case was. But I could see the fear in his body and in his eyes the first time I even saw. I couldn't even watch the whole. As soon as the first shot rang off, I was devastated. Like, I couldn't even. I have never seen all of the footage till this day. I can't watch my child lay there in the street like an animal and bleed to death. I just can't. I'm not gonna do it. But I could tell he was afraid. And as an officer doing your job, you should have been able to observe, okay, this is a young boy. He's afraid. He ran. Okay, I'm going to chase him, not the automatic pull the trigger. I'm just going to shoot him because I don't want to do my job or apprehend him. I want to just kill him.
It's crazy that, all a parent can do is really just warn their child about these sort of circumstances, but at the end of the day, there's just a distrust between our community and law enforcement that we just don't feel safe being around them. And so you're right, it was a flight or fight, and he's a kid and he didn't want to get in trouble, and so he ran. All right, guys, we're nearing a break, but you two hang tight, please, because there's still more to cover when Making the Case returns. We're talking about the multi-million-dollar settlement paid out by the city of Colorado Springs after the shooting death of 19-year-old Devon Bailey back in 2019. Still with me is Devon's mother, Delisha Searcy, and the family attorney, Darold Killmer. Darold, the Colorado Springs police put out a statement about the settlement that was reached, and it reads in part, while the city of Colorado Springs has officially and financially settled the civil case, we want to state unequivocally that this settlement is not in any way an admission or indication of wrongdoing by these officers. Rather, it was a decision made to mitigate financial risk to the city and taxpayers. This incident has been investigated and reviewed by numerous parties. None of these agencies or bodies found any wrongdoing on the officers' part. Are you surprised at all by the department's statement there, Darold?
Well, yes and no. I mean, yes, because it's so far from the truth, but no, because this is sort of standard pattern for a municipality after they pay out a settlement like this. You tell me, would they pay out $3 million if they hadn't done anything wrong? I think the question answers itself. And this business about they were investigated and they were exonerated, it's a sham down in Colorado Springs. This is true with a lot of municipalities. But when Colorado Springs kills a resident, which happens all too frequently, they hand it over to their brethren at the El Paso County Sheriff's Department to investigate. This is the same community. This is the sheriffs and the police. The sheriffs will investigate the police will investigate the sheriffs when they kill people, which they do down in El Paso County, also with disturbing regularity. It's no surprise to anybody that they find that their brethren didn't do anything wrong. As a matter of fact, in 100% of the cases where they've investigated one another, they found that their other side didn't, the police didn't do anything wrong or the sheriffs didn't do anything wrong. So that happens every time. And then when they pay out $3 million because they've been cornered and there's a civil rights lawsuit against them going on, they then say, well, we didn't do anything wrong and we found ourselves to be proper and within policy. In a twisted way, it is kind of within policy what they did. It's the city's policy to go ahead and treat people with this level of indifference and violence. That's one of the things we hope to change through settlements like this. By the way, this settlement had not just a monetary component, but non-monetary changes in policy, practice, and training as well, which the family is very excited about.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. I mean, with a statement like that, and I believe that the mayor also made a statement expressing his own frustrations about the settlement, saying in part, quote, it sends a message that you are not standing by your officers. With the non-component aspects of the settlement, I mean, are you even optimistic that they're going to take these these, for example, the non-bias or anti-bias that is training, are they going to take those non-components seriously within the department when the mayor and the police department come out with statements like this?
Well, it's a very fair question. It's better to have these in the contract, and if we see that they're violating these commitments, to have anti-bias training or to train on a new Colorado law that broadens the civil rights of citizens of the state. If they're not doing that, we can bring them back into court to enforce the settlement agreement. But your question's a fundamentally good one. It's a culture problem. And when they pay this out and then they say, we didn't do anything wrong, our police did exactly the way we teach them to police, it is disturbing and it is scary that they might do that again next week and next year. I do think there are some changes afoot. The country's reckoning after the George Floyd tragedy and the parade, the protests after that, I think have caused a lot of us to recognize it's more of a problem, although that may be waning now. So the battle is far from over. And Colorado Springs particularly has a gruesome history of police brutality.
A gruesome history, and what they say in the statement is that they wanted to mitigate financial risk to city and taxpayers when they can just save the city and taxpayers money by actually not allowing this to happen and training their officers. Delisha, how does it make you feel that the city and the police department continues to claim that it was justifiable to kill your son?
It's disgusting. It's, how do you justify killing somebody? First of all, you don't even know if they're guilty. They're human. They're another human being. I challenge them to put their children in the same exact situation, although it would never happen because we already know there's racial bias there. Because my son was a black male, he literally had no chance. He didn't have a chance. He was innocent. It didn't matter because they knew they could do whatever they wanted to do and get away with it. And that's exactly what happened. So, I mean, as far as their statements, I'm disgusted because I don't think anywhere in their job description it says shoot to kill. I don't.
Right. And it was so insensitive as well to the family, given the fact that you all are still grieving. Darold, what's next now that the lawsuit has been settled?
Well, the lawsuit has been settled, so there won't be a trial on this, but they have made these commitments to engage in additional and significant training and policy changes. We're going to watch them like an eagle to make sure that they do that. But our law firm has additional excessive force, police brutality, and even death cases against the Colorado Springs police. So this will test their resolve and their sincerity. Do they really mean it that they want to change? Because they're now defending these other cases that are, in one way or another, outrageous in and of themselves. So we'll see, and the community will see. The community's awake to this. The community protested when Devon was killed. So we're going to keep an eye on them, and we're going to keep the pressure on them.
Delisha, your son had so much life to live, but it was cut short before he could really fully realize his potential. What do you want people to know about your son?
He was loving. He loved his siblings, always willing to help. Just a light, loved to laugh. Had so many great plans. He was at the beginning point to when boys become men, when they talk about buying a house and buying a car, getting into their career. And I just remember all those conversations literally a couple months before he was killed. And it breaks my heart. You know, all the things he talked about. We talked about financial things, credit, just all the things you start to do when you become into adulthood. And I just want everybody to know how loving he was. He cared about his siblings, his family. He was just such a family guy. Like, he'd do anything for his family. And that's just Devon. His smile would light up the room. He always had a joke to tell. And he is truly missed, like, sincerely.
Delisha Searcy and attorney Darold Killmer, thank you so much for sharing with us tonight and for your time.